It showed how effective political assassination can be. It was established in a way that at the center of it was this enormous personality. It was Dr. King, and he was not just a personality. I mean, he was an intellectual. He was articulate. He had this charisma. And when they took him out, there was nothing.
My reaction then was that since King had been murdered, that it would expose to everyone that nonviolence wasn't acceptable, it wasn't going to work, and it would put an end to that approach to change. And I thought it was a good thing in 1968. I don't think it's a good thing now.
Black Americans were never of one mind in dealing with racial bias, but now the more militant organizations were going to have their day. And of all these groups, none was more vocal than the Black Panthers. As you might imagine, Dr. King's murder did not hurt their recruiting.
The Panthers appealed to me because of the discipline, because of the commitment to sacrifice almost anything, including their lives, to bring about change.
You were defense minister of the Black Panthers?
Deputy defense minister.
What did it mean? This is 1968.
We looked at the status of Black America, and we said that Black America is at war.
We're going to walk on this racist power structure, and we're going to say to the whole damn government, stick 'em up, motherfucker. This is a hold-up. We come for what's ours.
Basically, when you stripped away all of the rhetoric, they really weren't very radical. You could not involve with drugs. They were against drugs in their community. They believed in community control of police. They stood for education, jobs. I mean, just very elementary things, not radical at all.
Point 7 in that platform was we want an end to police brutality. And the way it was implemented was to observe carefully the police in armed groups, and if in fact the police were doing something wrong, to challenge them. It was like a form of political theater. This is how you deal with it. You stand up, you organize, you get armed, you say you won't take it anymore. It's very exciting.
Demonstrations like these were more terrifying than exciting to most Americans. But as you'll see, the Panthers' tactics were not lost on white folks, who would soon adopt those tactics as their own. If there was a mantra of the 60s, it was do your own thing. And by 1968, drug use had become a thing of the middle class.
One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small, and the ones that...
Tens of thousands of soldiers were coming back from Vietnam, where marijuana was as much a staple as beer.
I can't throw anything at you.
The media didn't help much.
I can't shoot you.
We were making pop icons of drug gurus like Timothy Leary.
This is a gesture of love. I'm open to you. Suck it to me.
It was almost casual, matter of fact. Grace Slick sang about the white rabbit of psychedelics. The Mamas and the Papas about a real straight shoot. Bob Dylan was pushing Mr. Tambourine Man, and the Beatles were taking their magical mystery tour. But the culture of the young was not just about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Some young people were trying to bring profound change to a world they hadn't created. This demonstration at Columbia University was supposedly about the building of a gymnasium and its effect on the surrounding black community, but it was about much more.
The war was something that affected everybody on this campus very deeply. Most of us had friends who had already come back in body bags, and so it was a bit of a conflict for the men on campus to be in school, protected by student deferments, but at the same time understanding that those who were less privileged were fighting a war that we thought was morally wrong.
The student demands were simple. Stop on-campus recruitment by the CIA and by Dow Chemical, end sponsorship of war-related research, and amnesty for the protesters. The demonstrations fed on themselves.
Everybody had a point of view about what we should do, what should be going on, etc. There were community people coming in. Nobody knew whether we should seize the building, take the building, or not take the building. It looked like, in fact, we had taken the building, but then if we had taken the building, shouldn't we actually declare that we had taken the building?
Within 4 days, they controlled 5 buildings and the office of the university president, Grayson Kirk.
Students were running around with a sense of liberation, that they'd liberated the university, or at least a few buildings there. They were indoors, having secret conclaves, issuing proclamations, figuring out political strategy, negotiating with the authorities, wondering whether they were going to be attacked by the police.
We have taken the power away from an irresponsible and illegitimate administration.
People had been living together in this building for approximately a week, and I was sort of the chairperson of the proceedings. I don't know how many people were there, 300, 200, a lot of people. There had been a wedding that was quite beautiful, kind of an epiphany.
I now pronounce that Andrea and Richard are children of the new age.
It was as if the revolution was coming true in these few square blocks of Upper Manhattan, and these student revolutionaries were accomplishing something that no one else had been able to do anywhere else in the country. The police were finally turned loose on the campus in the very early hours of the morning, and they went in with their clubs flying. You couldn't see very clearly, and the police clubbed as many heads of students and their friends as got in their way.
It became a real focus of national attention because it was Columbia, because it was the Ivy League, so that there was a sense like, my God, if these kids are doing it, what happens next?
Next was France, where Daniel Cohn-Bendit, known as Danny the Red, led a revolt against the Sorbonne that almost toppled the Fourth Republic.
Paris was shut down, France was immobilized, West Germany was immobilized. I mean, there was nothing like this that I know of in history.
We felt we were caught up in something that was truly monumental, and that the world was going to be fundamentally changed, and that this was simply the beginning of literally a worldwide young people's revolution.
Through all the turmoil of the spring, presidential politics never took a break. Hubert Humphrey officially entered the race in late April and was fast becoming the front runner, leaving Kennedy and McCarthy to slug it out in the primaries. California had 174 convention delegates, winner take all. If Kennedy was to make a race of it, he would have to win there on June 4th.
It became clear along about, I guess, 11 o'clock or so that he was winning California. Tough, maybe 5-6 points, but it was a big victory.
My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you.
He spoke there, and then as he was about to leave, I got ready sort of to take that buffeting. I was kind of like a good interior lineman, and I was moving fast to catch up with him when we heard the shots.
I am right here. Rayford Johnson has a hold of a man who apparently has fired the shot.
He's actually conscious for 10 minutes after he's shot. The whole thing is just utterly surreal. It's completely surreal. And then you go through 12 hours of praying that he's actually going to live.
There is no confirmation, repeat, that Senator Kennedy has been shot. That is not confirmed.
We don't know who's been shot.
And as we get more definite details, we'll bring them to you. If you do not leave the room, we cannot get medical aid to the senator. Now, would you please stand and cause confusion? What? Kennedy has been shot.
We became a generation of might-have-beens. From the point of his death, a mythology grew in which you always would wonder what might have been. You can't get to the truth of the 60s because the assassinations, which are part of the truth, also eliminated the potential from ever coming into fruition.